Hola amigos, pues vamos empezando un viaje. Estamos aquí en San Antonio, Texas. Hoy estamos aquí en San Antonio, pero mañana salimos rumbo a Orlando. Es un pequeño viaje que tenemos programado. Vamos rumbo a Orlando, vamos a los parques de Orlando, a Disney y a Universal, pero hicimos una parada aquí en San Antonio antes de irnos derecho para Orlando. Y bueno, quería mostrarles un poquito lo que es el Riverwalk aquí en San Antonio. Vamos a ver qué tal queda el video. Vean las carrozas con los caballos. Qué chulos están. Vamos a preguntar cuánto valen. Mira nomás qué chulo caballo. ¿Cuánto cobran, hija?
50.
Oílo. ¡Ay, silver! Ah, la estrella de Selena. Sí, Selena. ¿Por aquí hay entrada también? El Hard Rock Café. Lo que es el alcohol. Ese cámara. Ya ven, por eso no tomen mucho. No tomen tanto alcohol, andan bien pedos.
Los dos también.
Sí.
Los dos.
Bueno, pues esto es lo que le quería mostrar, es el Riverwalk. Es el Hard Rock Café.
hasta que creció la hembra, le quitó de la mujer, ya me voy para la mano.
Pues como pueden ver, aquí toda la orilla son puros restaurantes, bares, nada más, pura vida. Y bueno, ¿qué estamos haciendo en San Antonio? Nuestro viaje estaba programado, pero para ir, bueno, está programado para ir a Orlando, ir a los parques de Orlando. El problema fue que, pues como saben, bueno, yo soy de Matamoros y pues, bueno, soy ciudadano, mi esposa es ciudadana, mi hija es ciudadana, pero mi mamá pues ella no es ciudadana, ella vive en Matamoros. El problema fue que, pues como no abrieron los puentes, tuvimos que hacer una travesía. Ya estaba todo el plan listo para ir a Orlando y el problema fue que, pues como no abrieron los puentes, entonces tuvimos que hacer toda una travesía desde el día de antier. Viajamos de Matamoros hasta Monterrey, porque para que mi mamá, que la única forma que podía cruzar Estados Unidos era por vía aérea, compramos un boleto de avión de Monterrey a San Antonio. Y lo que hicimos, estuvimos en la travesía, volamos, conducimos hasta Monterrey, la dejamos en el aeropuerto, ella voló a San Antonio, nosotros nos regresamos a Matamoros, de Matamoros cruzamos a Brownsville y viajamos hasta San Antonio. Por eso estamos aquí en San Antonio. Ya de aquí pues ya empiezan nuestras vacaciones. Nos vamos a ir hasta Orlando, Florida, donde ya tenemos pues ya todo, los parques de Disney y de Universal, que les quiero llevar un poquito de pues de las vacaciones que vamos a tener, ¿no? Después de un año y medio de pandemia, por fin vamos a salir, a viajar. Pero sí fue una travesía, por eso estamos ahorita aquí en San Antonio, porque pues tuvimos que volar hacia acá, porque era la única forma de que podía cruzar mi mamá. Y bueno, ya estamos aquí, ahora sí empieza mañana nuestro viaje rumbo a Orlando, pero les quería mostrar un poquito ahora lo que es el Riverwalk aquí en San Antonio, Texas.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Alright, watch your step, welcome aboard. Got 6 seats in the middle on that side, 4 on the other. Gotta fill them up. So the safest seats on the boat. San Antonio, telling you some stories, kind of introducing you to my hometown, San Antonio. Over the next roughly half hour, I'm not just your Go Rio Riverboat captain, keeping us all safe and everything, but also tour guide. So as your ticket indicates, it's a narrated tour. So if I can have everyone's attention, let you know the train has left the station. Show's begun. I'm 6'5", tallest boat captain out here, but there are some footbridges that just ain't 6'5". Back here by me, we got life vests underneath these hatches. Every single boat's got a lot of them, but you don't have to worry because we've never had to use them. The river just ain't that deep. That's about it. So as we get started, because there's a boat coming behind me, we're going to do a couple miles in a clockwise loop and wind up back where we began. We had 3 docks. We'll go by the other 2, but when I work out this one, I get to start my show appropriately enough in a theater. It's called the Arneson River Theater. We have pre-pandemic over 300 shows a year on the stage. We're slowly getting back there. It's taking a while though. But for the purposes of our show tonight, I point out 5 bronze bells at the back of the stage right there. They stand for the 5 missions of San Antonio. More about that as we go along. But as we leave the Arneson River Theater, I want you to picture Sandra Bullock on that stage right there talking about world peace. You remember Miss Congeniality, hour in the movie, you'll see her there and you'll see those 5 bells. And remember how they stand with the 5 missions. You'll see her come on this bridge and you'll remember me and just laugh and go, yeah, there was Captain Carl. Too tall for that first bridge. See what I mean? Yeah. All right, we're gonna have some fun. All right, so let me put things in a historical perspective. First off, the Riverwalk was built between 1939 to 41. Now, San Antonio began over 300 years ago. We just had our tricentennial 3 years past in 2018 because we began in 1718 with the founding of the first of those 5 missions we were just talking about. Like I say, those 5 bells, the 5 missions are quite pivotal to our journey tonight. We'll be talking about the 5 missions and 5 all throughout. So the first one was May 1st, 1718. And remained a mission for just about 75 years when on April 12th of 1793, Catholic Church left, became secularized, gave it back to the local Payaya Indians. And then 13 years later in 1806, we breathed new life into it and gave it a second life, as we often will do with a lot of the buildings out here. Instead of tearing down and starting over, we just turned into something else. And that's when it became a frontier military outpost, at which point we gave it a different name, calling it the Alamo. Yeah, and then 30 years later, of course, the famous battle at Santa Ana, Dave Crockett, Jim Bowie, William Travis, all that, 1836. So just a little bit there. You know, people are familiar with the Alamo, but not everyone is aware that it's what started San Antonio long before it was the Alamo. Look around, see these beautiful tree-lined sidewalks, if you will. These cypress trees, the most common tree on the Riverwalk here, because they are endemic to the river. And so this is the way we originally designed and conceived the Riverwalk way back almost 100 years ago. It was a young local architect by the name of Robert Hugman in the year 1929 at just the ripe old age of 27. He presented his plans to the city to build this, but because the Great Depression came right after that, it took a decade before we were finally able to get federal funds to help us build. So that's why 1939 to 41. So as we go along our clockwise loop, we're heading west. So is the sun, of course. So I moved that kind of that angle, so get it around the corner there. So now we can see, get a picture real quick here. You'll get that yellow boat up ahead, and the Bexar County Courthouse. So the sun sets behind the courthouse, and you got the pretty green tile roof there, and it's made with all native Texan granite and red sandstone. A beautiful structure, dates back to 1896 with several expansions over the years. having now become the largest and the oldest continuously operating historic courthouse in all of Texas. So a few decades later, we built the building to my left. If you look up high in the sky right over there, we're at the very base of this building. It's become quite iconic on the San Antonio skyline because of its design. We'll see more as we pass on by, but right now I wanted you to see at least that angle. So when it opened up on June 1st, 1929, as a big grand opening, it was the very first skyscraper in San Antonio, topping out at 404 feet high, 31 stories, and with a 100-foot flagpole we'll get a much better view of here in just a moment. It's the highest flying flag in the city, and it's got 8 different sides at the same time. That's just what's happened this week. But it's still a beautiful sight, and now a little bit further west, we can now see the terracotta green terracotta, if you will, in clay tile. So both of these buildings have green tile roof. Think about it that way. All the years and thousands of times I've told the story and just now made that connection, but I just happen to talk about them both the same way that way. But yeah, green tile on both. So I'm going to honk the horn right here, because I can't see around these corners. That means those corners don't see me either. So that means if they don't see me, they don't see you guys, and we don't want to get hit. It's always safety first, right? So with this right turn, we'll be heading north, continuing our clockwise loop. The river takes a left turn, so you look behind me. There's no boats coming, that's good. But on the other side of that bridge, there's that opening on that side. That's our marina. There's missions you do. It could be a good, pretty cool half-day trip, whatever. But if your schedule's tight and you're not able to just get into the Alamo, then you can say you've been in the top 2 and a World Heritage Site here. Pretty neat, huh? So as we continue heading eastward towards the Alamo, well, in the direction of that anyway, let me tell you about another movie that filmed down here featuring a bridge, a much higher bridge actually. 3 years before Miss Congeniality was the movie Selena. Near the end of the movie, after they got married, they're walking along right over there behind me on the sidewalk there. And then, boat comes underneath here. Oh yeah, I love this bridge. Then the camera cuts to look to show behind me like that. And as you see a boat go underneath, as we just did. Then you see them on the bridge facing that way, facing the Alamo as the direction we're heading. In the very next scene, they're doing a concert in front of the Alamo. So there's a couple of movies you can watch to relive your time on the boat. There's Congeniality, Selena. There's many, many more movies that are filmed down here. But remember, this is just a quick little overview tour. It's going to look like it's flat. That was a hospital. Wow, look at that blue sky. Pretty cool, huh? So the Knicks Medical Center.
Dice que ese es un hospital.
Late 1930.
¿Qué es un hospital?
About a decade before we built the Riverwalk, 39 to 41. And yes, Carol Burnett born there a couple of years later, April 33, so she just turned 88 back in a couple months back in April. A lot of medical firsts took place there, but they did close permanently a couple of years ago. And plans are to turn it into a hotel in the near future. Speaking of hotels, though, straight in front of the boat, the sun's shining on that beautiful 16-story tall building that's between us and the Alamo. That building is and always has been a hotel. Remember, again, May 1st, 1718 when it started. 1968 was 250 years. That's also why this part came about. This is a man-made extension of the river. We dug 4 or 5 feet deep here in preparation for the World's Fair. And because we chose a 92.5-acre site up ahead to be able to hold the fair, carve that out. And that was on the southeast part of downtown, a quarter-mile away from where the river was, and the river walk. It had gone very much unnoticed over a quarter century prior. People didn't know about it, so we said, let's bring in the fair. Everybody can learn not only about the 5 missions, the 5 military bases, but our beautiful Riverwalk. Now it's known the world over, so the World's Fair was a great marketing thing for us. That's also why, as I mentioned, why we were building the Hilton Palacio Del Rio. But on that one, we didn't get started till quite late, so it was a very limited time in which to build. We went very, very quickly, of course. We had crews work around the clock. And we built it so fast that the hotel is now in Guinness World Records. That's the fastest hotel of its size ever built. 21 floors, almost 500 rooms, and we did the whole thing. Ready for this? 202 days, less than 7 months. Now, as amazing as that is, I think it's even more incredible the way we built it. Because between us and the tower is the convention center. That's why the stop sign that we're not heading that way, because no large conventions. But enough about the tallest building in the city. Let's talk about the tallest boat captain in the city. Again, that's me, just in case you forgot. We got another low bridge coming upon us. Well, coming upon me, because you guys are sitting. Remember the safety rules. You guys are doing good with that. Me, if I'm not looking, paying attention, I'll be in a world of hurt. On the way out, it's probably going to be lower. It could be farther over to the right. Here we had some boats here, so we got more of our colors. And this is the last loading dock, the one I mentioned a couple times earlier, right outside the mall, where I'll work at tomorrow. And we have another military boat, the blue one there. Wonderful. So around this curve up here is the mall. 8:09, the mall closed 9 minutes ago. That's okay, you're not here to be getting a ride at the mall, right? To learn about the different things and go to dinner. Tomorrow it actually stays open till 9. It just recently increased their hours. It had been 11 to 7, and then on Fridays and Saturdays 11 to 8. Now it's 10 to 9. An extra hour on either end, so we're getting closer to where we were pre-pandemic, at least with the mall anyway. So let me tell you about some of the great things inside the mall. We've got a Legoland Discovery Center. Yeah. We've got right next to that a Sea Life Aquarium that opened up just less than 2 months ago, right next to the Legoland. And we got a Dave and Buster's for the kid and all of us. And well, you look at the mall here. This opened up in 1988, right at the 20-year anniversary of the fair. But what you're looking at is only one small little bit of the mall, because all that stuff I was talking about, the Legoland, the Sea Life, and the Dave and Buster's is to my left. On the other side of that wall, you're saying it'll be behind me, but you understand we're going around the corner. So that is a 200,000 square foot addition to the mall. You can't see from here, but it's on the other side, of course. That opened up 5 years ago, now making the mall a little over 1 million square feet. Second largest in the city. Like I say, we're only seeing one small bit right here. And the end of that hallway is the Dave & Buster's. That's where you can open up the door to the outside. There's the Alamo. So another way to get there. But speaking of the Alamo, as we work our way around this island, it has a lot of festivals and concerts throughout the year. Well, not so much lately, but we'll start up again, hopefully soon. Let me tell you about something behind me in the original part of the mall, Alamo related. It's our IMAX movie theater.
Lo que más me sorprendió aquí en San Antonio, la mera verdad, fue que nadie trae cubrebocas. Pareciera que aquí en San Antonio no hay pandemia. Yo aquí lo traigo, ahorita me lo quité para platicar, pero nadie, no sé si se dieron cuenta, nadie trae cubrebocas. Parecía que aquí en San Antonio no hay pandemia. Está medio raro. Anduvimos en las tiendas y todo eso. La gente no usa cubrebocas aquí, es raro. Yo me sentí hasta raro en los lugares donde andaba porque pues, nadie usa cubrebocas aquí. Entonces, no sé si aquí ya no hay virus, ya se acabó o qué. Está medio raro. amigos, pues esto fue un poquito los que le quería mostrar aquí en San Antonio. Les digo que aquí fue nuestro último día. Mañana salimos rumbo a Orlando y pues voy a llevarles un poquito de videos diferentes ahora en los parques de Orlando. Esto es lo que quería mostrarles, un poquito de San Antonio, el Riverwalk aquí en San Antonio. Les digo que mañana salimos rumbo a Orlando y vamos a tratar de subir un poquito de videos de lo que son los parques de Orlando y a ver qué tal nos quedan. Espero les haya gustado y esperen más videos. Bye bye.